Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura style.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start.
He's trying to get across.
Hello, welcome to Burning Questions. Today is August 14. We're going to have a good look at the racing at Melton on Saturday night. 9 races on the card. Saturday, August 16. A great little panel assembled. We will start with Chris Alford, who told me yesterday that he would be undergoing some backbreaking labour today. 150 bales of hay were turning up and he would have to unload them. But, Chris, it looks like you've had a pretty easy morning. Have you been able to delegate that job, have you?
Yeah, the hay came 7 o'clock this morning when I was on the track, so I was lucky I got out of it.
Good stuff. Who got the job? Josh and Hannah, did they?
No, Josh and Patrick. Hannah's been away sick all week.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks for joining us. Big night for you on Saturday night. Dan Mielicki joins us. Dan, I think you've escaped the flu over the last few weeks. You're sounding good, looking well.
Don't put the moz on me. I'm usually pretty good. I live by the 19 degrees theory. So whether it's summer or winter, I always have the aircon on 19 degrees. And I don't sleep with the heater on. And I get a cold about once every 8 years. But I do lose my voice about once every 2. That's
okay.
About the gist of it.
Okay, so we have ours, my wife puts it on about 24. So you reckon the key is to drop that down to about 19?
Well, I find everyone else that seems to think they're living in Noosa instead of Melbourne ends up with a lot more colds than I.
Yeah, okay, I might take your advice. Speaking of Noosa, Ryan Phelan getting married up there, I think this weekend, so good luck to him. Our third and final panellist is Brett Carroll, who usually joins us from Melbourne, but I reckon you might be up in Manangatang this week, Brett.
I am, yeah, the sun's shining. I even brought some rain down with me on the way. It's rained the last 3 times I've been here, so I think I'll be back again. They'll be paying me to come back. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting up there. October 18. Is it October 18 or October 11 might be Manangatang Cup this year? So
yeah, that sounds about right. I haven't got the calendar on, but
we'll get up there and
Caulfield Guineas Day. They're even playing footy on Saturday, so I might see if I can get a leave pass and venture across. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, let's get stuck right into it. Big night of racing Saturday night. APG's Winter Mix sale is on this weekend. Bidding starts today and continues. I think today should be Friday. So bidding starts Friday and continues through until closing on Sunday evening, featuring exciting drafts from around the country. This online sale is your last chance to upgrade your stable before the 2026 season. Head over to apgold.com.au to find out more and all the details and register as a buyer today. Thanks to APG for sponsoring one of our questions here on Burning Questions. Zeus is set for one more spin, so can he get a fairy tale win? Aldebaran Zeus is having his 89th career start on Saturday night. Brent Lilly, Chris Alford team up there, and after that he'll be retired to stud. He's been a wonderful horse, 5 Group 1s. I'll hold you to last here, Chris. I might come to you, Dan. You've called him to many of those big wins and many of his races. He's been a marvel. He's even represented Australia over in the US, running in that $1 million race over there. So it'll be a little sad to see him heading off, but hopefully he can finish with a win.
Look, he's a chance of winning. It's just that sort of race. There's a lot of question marks around the race. But you're right, he's had a wonderful career. And from the early days as well, since he's really came on the scene, he was right amongst the top level from his juvenile days. And we all recognise now that he hasn't got any better. Probably his swan song or peak was when he was in the US. And since he come back, he had a few shining lights. And look, overall, we can celebrate a wonderful career because he's been a fantastic trotter. We would have been lost without him, to be fair, pushing a lot of other good horses through his time. And to answer your initial question, can he go out with a bang? I haven't tipped him on top, but I'll be putting him in the quaddie. I think he's a good chance to win, even though he hasn't been in a stand start for more than 2 years. His last stand start was the Road Cup, which was before he went to America. But funnily enough, even that form line's not too bad with so many other horses in this race having a poor record in stands or haven't been racing from behind the tapes for a long time or badly handicapped.
Yeah. Look, it's a great race. The handicap 30 metres for Aldebaran Zeus. We'll come to you here, Brett. We've got a handful of horses off the 30, including Harold Smith, the favourite. I'm Bobby, and also Aldebaran Vera. Great little race. Maybe initially your thoughts on Aldebaran Zeus before you give us an on-top selection?
I think Dan summed it up really well. He's been around here, there, and everywhere, and he's always been competitive. And you got to tip your hat off to his career. And he's got to be some sort of chance with his amazing standing start record and a great standing start driver on board. He's got to be a chance. I haven't tipped him on top, so I'm really echoing Dan's comments here regarding Aldebaran Zeus. Yeah.
Goes in the quaddie, but not on top, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm going to go with Harold Smith.
Yeah, I didn't quite. Yeah, I'm pretty keen on Bobby. Just it's a very anomalous form line because he's had one place from 8 starts over the stand, but most of those were with Eddie Tapp on board. And I'm not knocking Eddie for a second. Obviously, he's a fantastic conditioner of this horse, but James Herbertson's got a great record, 9 drives for 5 wins, 2 seconds and 2/3, and he's never driven it in a stand before. So I'm just going to go, well, it's a whole different form line. And in my opinion, Bobby looks to be at better than ever, absolute career peak. And anyone would have seen his Menangle wins recently, you'd just be pretty awestruck, to be honest.
Yeah, he's flying. Yeah, he's certainly in my quaddie. I'm going to go with Harold Smith on top, though, just in a great little race. We'll come to you, Chris. Maybe before we get a look at the race or your thoughts on the race, maybe just a comment on Aldebaran Zeus as a whole. He's surely been one of the top 10 or 15 horses you've ever driven, I guess.
Yeah, you would say so, Tim. He's right from his first start. He was just a very professional little horse and great to drive, never missed a beat and always tried his best. As he went to America and did really well over there, and then got a bit sick and probably hasn't come back as good as what he was when he was a bit younger, but still very competitive when things go his way. And I think back to the stand, Ryan Bobby's had the wood on him his last 3 or 4 starts, and Harold Smith's a good stand horse, but his manners are usually impeccable, so hopefully we can get a good jump on him at the start, and the 2200 will suit.
Okay, so some winning chance, you reckon?
I think so. If he can ping away and get 10, 15 metres on him on the first turn, it'll make a big difference.
And I'm sure you've enjoyed the career with Aldebaran Zeus and sort of sharing the experience along with Duncan McPherson and also Shawnee. They've loved the ride.
Yeah, well, the thing is with horses like Zeus, like he may not have been the greatest trotter up there like Just Believe and horses like that, but you come to times when they finish like tomorrow and then you go, where the heck's the next one going to come from? It'll probably take another 100 horses to go through to find another one.
Yeah, you're right. He's been a ripper. Good luck with him on Saturday night. Chris, Aldebaran Zeus, race 7, number 7 for Brent Lilly, Chris Alford, the Aldebaran Park Trotters Handicap. Pride's Easy Feed stand as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. She won her debut with ease. So what should we expect from Afternoon Breeze? Looking at race number 6, a great little race. This the Dynamic Print Group Bob Conroy 2-year-old trotting classic. And we're in particular talking about the 4 Afternoon Breeze for Russell Jack and Nathan Jack. I'll come straight to you here, Chris. I thought you would have been pretty impressed with Afternoon Breeze's debut performance, but you've got a really talented horse in Unclad that you're partnering from outside the front row. How do you see this race 6 on Saturday night?
Yeah, always tricky, the 2-year-old trots this early in the year for him. And Nathan's horse looked pretty sharp first up, ran the gate well and got a real easy run, but really dashed home up the straight. So you'd think it would improve even more on that. Kai Valley Ray was really good. Apart from being very wayward, he's had a gelding operation, which hopefully that sorts him out for the team. And Tubbs' horse looked good, although I got all the favours winning at Bendigo. But I wouldn't swap Unclad. He galloped at Bendigo, probably more my fault trying to snag him in for a trail, and made up good late ground. And I think everything going right this week, he'll be very hard to beat.
Yeah, and I thought he ran well after making that mistake at the start there, Unclad. Brett, I'll come to you. Great little race, this, the Bob Conroy, worth $20,000 for the 2-year-olds. Are you keen on one here?
Yes and no. I think, I respect the form lines coming through with Kai Valley Ray and Howdy Mate. They're both being gelded, which is interesting because Kai Valley Ray did look like it had a lot of talent, but it did look like it had little clue about how to get it out there. So you saw the difference it made to Howdy Mate first up, and you got to think, well, probably similar with Cavalli Ray. So Afternoon Breeze did beat nothing of this standard at its first run. Obviously, I reckon it's a really impressive type. You have to be blown away with its action and all that sort of thing, but it's probably going to be pretty short. So I'll probably be a bit more cautious and, respect the depth in the race, including, Cavalli Ray, Howdy Mate, and Unclad are all really good chances. And even the Mark Hayes trained one actually goes pretty good as well. So, yeah, it's a good race.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll come to you here, Dan. Afternoon Breeze, what Brett said, just a beautiful trotter. And I think Lockie McIntosh, maybe in the call, even referenced how nicely this horse covers the ground. I know it didn't beat much, but I loved that last sort of furlong. It really just dashed home beautifully on the back of a couple of nice trials. So it looks a nice horse, but there's plenty of handy ones in this race.
Yeah, it's still a big step, isn't it? Second start, got no pressure. Look, the positive was it pinged the gate, so it's got gate speed, but maybe everything else didn't have, and it might have flattered it because it got a very cheap run, and it was a fast quarter, so it stretched out, but there was absolutely no pressure. If there's better horses here, put a little bit of pressure, that could be interesting. And depending on price, which I'm unaware of at the moment, if she's $1.30, I don't know if that's too ridiculous or not. I'd be wanting to look elsewhere, and I'm sure Unclad, Howdy Mate, and they're the main two I would have thought. Cavalli Ray, he was clueless. For a horse that won on debut, he did look clueless, which is a really positive sign. But Unclad, yeah, I like Unclad, but I don't know if I can trust him. I trust the bloke driving him and training him, but I'm not sure. There's a few horses that fit that category. I think I'd be happy to take the filly on. I know she's pretty good, but I reckon if she was going to be vulnerable, it's actually this race. And Unclad, I must admit, Craig Knott, having that mare start, because I love it, and some of the names he comes up with those horses. And Unclad's a good one. I look forward to the next one. And that might be a good sign too, with Aldebaran Zeus going to stud. Hopefully there's a lot of Greek gods that come into the names of horses on the back of Aldebaran Zeus.
Yeah, I reckon. Look, really interesting race. I'm going to lean towards Afternoon Breeze, but really a big fan of Howdy Mate. I've been on him right the way through his early runs, and he finally broke through last time. Yeah, Unclad's a nice horse. Cavalli Ray looks pretty handy. I think he's won a trial too, Brad. I didn't see the vision of that trial, but he did win a trial, Cavalli Ray.
Yeah, he did it really easily. He looked a much more sensible horse, so I didn't realise he'd been gelded, but that totally makes sense. And similar with Howdy Mate, had a trial before that win and looked a completely different, relaxed horse. So I'd say it's going to have a similar effect on Cavalli Ray.
Yeah, great race. Race 6 is the Bob Conroy at 8:49 p.m. Logical Staffing Solutions provide labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehousing, automotive and manufacturing industries. A logical solution for your staffing needs. Commodus is very short in the home field trot. So does he simply lead and beat this lot? We're talking about race 5, the first leg of the main quaddie, the VHRC, the home field. I think it's been run since 1990. Some great horses have won it. Chris, including Noopy Kiosk has won it way back in the day. A great old horse, plenty of good ones. Majestuoso more recently. $30,000 race for the 3-year-olds. I'll come to you here, Dan. We'll start with you. I did catch a market with sports, but I think Commodus might be $1.35, which I think is a little ridiculous. I don't think he'll start $1.35. He's clearly one of the real key winning chances, probably the likely leader. But this is a race with plenty of depth, I thought, Dan.
It is. It's a good race. No doubt the barrier draw lends itself to Commodus, and I can understand why it's favourite, but I think we'd all agree $1.35 is way too short because there's some very talented trotters in it. But the advantage is he's got gate speed, he'll be fitter, and he's got the really good gate. I think Alrighty was terrific last start. We'll all agree with that, and he gets to follow Commodus through. And if Vetus, I just wonder if they go forward or not on Vetus. If he ends up without cover and Alrighty gets 1-1, I think Alrighty's got a really good chance of getting to Commodus. I think clearly Commodus is the one to beat, but the barrier draw's fallen his way. But I've seen a lot of home fields over the years, and I've seen a lot of upsets in this race as well, just with the extra pressure that's put on them. But he's got to be the one to beat, and he's the rightful favourite, but I think unders at that price.
Yep. We'll come to you here, Brett. Is there one you're keen on? And if there is it the favourite?
I'm not keen on anything, as in I respect the depth in the race, and I'm tipping, could easily be an upset here. And I think Commodus will probably start around evens, I would imagine. Tracy the Jet had a nice trial last week as a warm-up for this, and it says last run ran second in the Oaks, and I honestly think it should have won. Should have won the Oaks in New South Wales.
Yeah.
It had probably not one of Grant Dixon's proudest drives, I wouldn't have thought, to be perfectly honest. But, and you look at Meccano's a bit untapped, and, he's probably still on the up based on his trials. But Key and Kirky and I just called to say down the bottom, both can make errors, but, gee, they're pretty good. And, throw in a few others that are, speak for themselves. A decent race, isn't it?
Yeah. You referenced that trial with Tracy the Jet, Brett. We can say now that horse ran second and initially was chasing home What's Up the Hill, but we've since found out that it was What's Up Party Time that Tracy the Jet chased home and got pretty close to. I think there was a nice horse in third in that trial, Dan. Imperial Command might have run third. So Tracy the Jet's trial form is probably a bit better than first thought, Brett.
I'd still come home in sub 28 quarter, so don't worry about that. And that stable would never knock them around in a trial, so don't worry, it'll be ready.
Yeah, I'm keen on Tracy the Jet myself. We'll go to you here, Chris. Home field, great race. How many times have you won it? You would have won a few, wouldn't you?
I think Conqueror might have won.
Yeah, I reckon you're right.
I can't really remember.
Noopy won it though, but you remember?
Yeah,
that
was
one?
his dad. Yeah, I remember him, but I didn't drive him. Dad did.
No.
I remember Conqueror, and can't think of any others. Have to look in the book on Saturday night.
Can you win it in 2025?
Yeah, I think so. He was pretty goofy first up from a spell. He wasn't really switched on and handled them pretty easy. It's pretty much similar field apart from Tracy the Jet, which is a nice filly, but with his gate speed, I think he can lead, and I think he'll go 56 on the fence, so it's going to be pretty hard for anything to get around him.
Yeah. So you reckon there's a bit of natural improvement first up to second up, just from what you felt?
Yeah, well, his trial was good. He sat back last and rounded him up and broke 28 home, and then won at Bendigo. Didn't really put his mind on the job, but I think he'd be a lot more focused on Saturday night. Okay,
good stuff. Chris Alford keen on Commodus, Jane Davies and him. They partner up for the home field. I'm going to go with Tracy the Jet first up from a break. Geez, I loved her last preparation and thought the trial was great. And I think she's a handy horse. But great little race, that one. Let's move on to the fourth and final question. Will the second go to one of Emma's pair, or can a rival give them a scare? Race 2, of course, we're talking about is the Garrard's Horse and Hound Pace. At 6:28 p.m. over the 1720, a $15,000 event. Emma Stewart has horse 7, Storms Collide, and also horse 12, Captain Perfect. I'll start with you, Brett. I think she's got a great hand in the race.
I was looking for a driver. Has Captain Perfect got a driver yet? I couldn't find one.
Not according to mine. Not according to my form. So
it's going to be very hard to win without a driver, I've found.
And it's unfair to the others, isn't it?
Slightly, Dan. That does confuse me a bit, to be honest, because you would think this late in the day, does that mean it's not taking part in the race? I'm not really sure what to read into that. Seems strange. But it's a pretty good horse, isn't it? It's got a great record, Captain Perfect. I would be pretty confident in one of those two winning. But every time I'm confident of an Emma Stewart horse winning, they don't seem to win. So it's pretty hard. I'll be largely staying out, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, tough race. I've gone with Storms Collide to beat Business Class, Grayson Red, Farino, but without looking at prices, I don't want to get too involved in anything short. We'll come to you, Dan. I don't know. Plenty of nice horses in good form. It's an interesting race. So are you keen on one of Emma's here or not?
Oh, look, I think Storms Collide has the advantage, even if Captain Perfect does start. I think barrier 7 on the front row was always an advantage with a horse that's had a run back from a spell and should press forward, as opposed to something on the back row that's had a little bit of a break. So I'll tip the 7 Storms Collide. It's not really the horse I'd be wanting to be backing, but I can't with confidence come up with anything to beat it. because of the emergencies in the race, and as you all know, I hate emergencies drawn in the field. They should always be outside the draw, and then we can do our form properly, and we're not ending up misleading people because something comes out and the emergency starts inside the back row. So All the Rage is the other one that's going really well. I think if he drew 2 on the back row, I'd be tipping him each way. But if the emergency's out, he's inside back row behind 100 to 1 shot, I don't know where he's going to end up. So 7 for me, Storms Collide. And I did check, Chris, and anywhere Hugo you drove to win a home field too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Either that or they got Svenocio wrong with Alford and beat.
No, I remember
No?
I drove him because I think Chris might have been out or something.
Good stuff, Dan. Appreciate that. I should have done my homework, but I knew bringing you on, I'd be safe. Chris, Emma's got 2 in this race, but you've got a drive here. Your horse, the Statesman, Alison and yourself combined here. Currently barrier 10. He's going well. He was a winner 2 starts ago. He ran down the Iron Duke from memory, and then I thought, he was way out the back last time, but he ran home sort of fairly. He's one of the chances, do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure he's top 3 chance. Emma's 2 look pretty hard to beat, although first time out of 3-year-old grade for the Storms Collide. He beat ordinary ones last week and didn't win by a great margin, so he'll probably need to step up a little bit. And the one on the back row, as you said, whether it starts or not, it's got great form at Globe Derby, but to see at Melton it went 52 when it won as a pardon me, 2-year-old last year. So it's obviously, got really good form. So it'll be a tough race. But as you said, these are older seasoned horses and, some of them will give them a run for their money.
Yeah, good stuff. Righto, guys. That's 4 of the races covered off. Sharps Bakery sponsor our best bets segment. I can't remember what happened last week. I don't think mine got home, but let's try and find 4 winners here for the punters. Dan, we'll start with you. Have you got a moral, a certainty for the punters on Saturday night?
I don't like using the M word, but there's something I like a lot. As I always say, you never put the house on it. You put every other room by the toilet, because if it gets beat, you need somewhere to go to throw up. I think Fox Dan, not just because it's got my name in it, but I think he's fit enough, and I think he's strong enough that he's going to be my best bet. Race 3, horse number 10. Although I do think Surfing Makes Sense is going to be an excellent chance in that as well. And it's funny, race number 4, there's something, I don't know, this race has got me a little bit perplexed, and I reckon it's a race. I'm tipping Cosmo here, and I wish there was 3-place dividends. I think it's going really well. I've just a question mark on the race, so I'll go for value Cosmo.
Okay. I reckon he won a similar 80 to 89 a few start. He gets into that grade, doesn't he, Dan, and he can win. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. We'll go to you here, Chris. I reckon you were with Aldebaran Brook last time on the each way at a big price. Couldn't get it done there.
Muck that up. No, I'll go Unclad this week.
Unclad in the home field, which is race number... Sorry, it's not the home field. It's the Bob Conroy, race 6, number 7, Unclad for Puppet. Good stuff. Brett Carroll, what are you doing?
Yeah, I seem to have a pretty good record when I select a trotter, so I'm going to stick with the trotters and go with one of my favourite horses on the circuit at the moment. I'm Bobby. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Race 7, number 6, I'm Bobby. There is prices out. What is he? Second favourite?
He's about $293, which I think is pretty good odds. It's more because of the stand query, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I'm tipping a lot of Emma Stewart horses on Saturday night on top, and I'm just worried about what prices are going to come up, so I'll avoid one of them. I reckon this one might come up each way price here. Race 9, number 3, Dossier, Ross Graham, Alan Tormey. I reckon this horse is going really good. Draws inside a couple of the key chances. 550 here on the form analysis. I'd be happy with something like that. So I'll go a little each way, play in the final event at 10:22 p.m. if you don't mind. Race 9, number 3, Dossier. Dan, Chris, Brett, really appreciate you jumping on Burning Questions. Go well on Saturday night in your various roles, calling, driving, and also punting. And I'll chat to you very soon. That's been Burning Questions here on August 14. I'll be back next week with another edition.
Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura style.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start.
He's trying to get